Hello everyone, back to another delightful literary evening with me, and with John Ernest Greene, our beloved creator of literary works. Now, it might be summer break, but life with any kind of break from literature would be a life without any point, not worth living. And besides, even if you've already done your GCSEs, it might be good to practice those analysis skills because they can get really useful in real life. So today, in front of us is another short story by John Ernest Greene, one of his more poignant ones, Death. It was composed right around the turn of the 21st century. If I remember correctly, it was the 6th of September 2002 at 4:20 p.m. exactly. I know this from John Ernest Greene's detailed biography written by John Mockley. I highly suggest taking a read of that as well. It was about this time that John Ernest Greene realized his time on this planet was coming to an end, and he would soon have to move on to another one to intimidate and conquer. So he started realizing his own mortality, or mortality in a more broad sense, obviously, given that he was an immortal god and whatnot. And thinking about how everything has an end, how everything is finite, life is so fragile, this led to one of his more tragic but also in some ways uplifting stories. So, of course, before we dive into actually analyzing the text, it's necessary to study the necessary background information, context. Context is everything. So that's why today I'd like to introduce you to a fantastic website called Wikipedia. As you can see, it's a free encyclopedia with 6,500,000 articles written in English, to mention all other languages. So, what I like to do is I like to just click on some of these interesting featured articles in the news, did you know, and so on. But if you find a new way to list all of the articles alphabetically, then please do that, and or list them in any other way. Go through them one by one and read them in a very detailed way. Now, what you can also do is look for universities near you and apply to them. If you don't happen to have the necessary background schooling and so on, then consider going to a high school or even to a middle school and getting the necessary degrees to apply to the university. It doesn't even matter what course, just in general. Just apply to a university. And then what you can also do is learn every language that exists. Hold on, because this is very important to learning the context of this piece. As we all know, this Death was written on planet Earth, so you need to inform yourself about every single possible facet of Earth, every single detail about it. So there you go. You can have a list of official languages by country, a list of languages by total number of speakers. See, it's all on Wikipedia. You have a lot of lists. So make sure you master all of these before you dive into this text. And finally, there's also a really cool website I recently found that can really help you with your literary endeavors, and it's called Google. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. What you do is you type in anything you you want into this box, and you find a bunch of results. So, for example, things to learn. Speak a new language. Yeah, see, it's all connected. Everyone knows these are useful skills. Speed reading. You will not need to learn the skill for John Ernest Greene's works, obviously, because of their, shall we say, courteousness, poignancy. Basic car repairs. Not sure if that's useful in this specific case. However, everything you learn could help your understanding of literary works. Organize and declare your home. This is crucial. If you don't do this step, your interpretations will be clouded by distractions, by trying to get it done, by looking for excuses. You have to do this. And obviously, if you don't master Photoshop, how will you possibly be able to create the images that properly encapsulate your feelings? It's impossible. And of course, playing the guitar, same story, but for music, photography, it's all connected. This is a very good list. You know what? I'm not sure if this exists, but if it does, you will definitely have to take a look at this. Alright, so now that we've gotten context out of the way, if you want, you can pause the video here. Make sure to read the 6,500,000 articles and get back to the video with a freshened mind. So, the information regarding John Ernest Greene as an author is a bit lacking, I have found. In fact, if we just search for him, yeah, it's not exactly how he looks like. It's John Ernest Greene. And there, I mean, there's not that many pages about it. This isn't even the correct one. It says he was born. That can't be right. John Ernest Greene wasn't born, he was created from the matter of the universe itself. However, I am here to supply you with this information. So, John Ernest Greene, as we all know, was an author of many talents, but specifically, obviously, the talent of language. He knew exactly how to phrase a situation to make people think, but also not use too many words. And this piece in particular, it, apart from the title, it contains two symbols. And usually what I do with works like this is that I go through them word by word and explain in detail the significance of the choice of each word. However, for this one, I don't think that will be possible, simply because there's only one word. So instead, we'll take a more liberal approach to this analysis. Starting with the title here, Death. What does that make you think? Probably something bleak and sad, sorrowful, but perhaps also disgusting. Maybe it makes you philosophical, in the sense that you realize that everything has to come to an end. Well, this piece does share some of those emotions, but as you will soon see, it also is a story of hope. It is... I mean, if you've ever heard of reincarnation, it's kind of the theme we're going with. Death is necessary for life to proceed. Makes you realize the purpose of all things. And I know these might sound like empty words right now before we even dive in, but just keep your initial impressions in mind for the later analysis. Okay, so yeah. So I'll just actually skim through all of these notes on the text here. These are actually really of of a really paramount importance if you're reading this text for the first time, and especially if you have the digital edition. It's crucial to read these in detail because they give you a lot of background information, which is necessary to correctly understand the context and obviously the meaning behind John Ernest Greene's words. I was lucky enough to get a physical edition as well, bought it on Craigslist of some Turkish guy. I think it was the same one who sold me the copy of Whips, actually. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Here's where the work officially begins. Death. Death. Repeat that word in your mind a few times. Let it sink in. The music might seem out of place, but it's actually perfect for the situation right now. Death. Focus on the short notes. Focus on the brevity. Now focus on the beauty. Focus on the way everything merges together. You got that? Just let it sink in. Take a few moments. Take a deep breath. Get ready. I'll pause it now for no more distractions. Death. Alright. Hopefully, you have experienced the same things I have. Looking at this symbol. The first time I read this text, I went through the 18 stages of grief. I experienced what it's like to be a tissue. I have eaten and digested grass. I have seen beyond the strings that make up our universe. I have grazed off of limestone. I have chewed on microphones. I have ingested ketamine. I have created letters with my mind. I have divided by zero. I have finally figured out why Java is a good programming language. Not only that, but I saw quarks with the naked eye. I saw beyond the furthest most stretches of our universe. I saw beyond our universe. I saw the world that exists outside. I saw myself. I saw inside of myself. I saw the parasites that make up our society. I saw the wonders that make up our tables. I saw the delicious, fragrant juices that make up our houses. I saw the disgusting abominations that make up our lamps. What I saw, what I heard, what I felt what I thought. That cannot be expressed directly. Language isn't powerful enough for that. But it can be expressed. It can be expressed using language. And John Ernest Greene just showed us. He proved to us that it can. I assume that John Ernest Greene had a premonition like mine before, sometime in life, although the circumstances are unknown. And he wanted to convey to us this enlightenment, this whole embodiment of the self, of the universe. One day, he woke up and he saw something. He saw a spark in our universe that was invisible to the naked eye, but that anyone could notice with enough preparation. And when enough people noticed it, soon people would be working towards igniting it and letting it engulf the whole world. I think this is why John Ernest Greene became a writer. This was his calling, to broaden the spark. Now, if you've endured the same journey as I have, then I don't think the rest of this video is necessary for you. You have seen what John Ernest Greene was to convey. But if you still haven't, well, I am your tour guide. I will demonstrate to you why this piece is of such paramount importance to the future of this world and the godhood of John Ernest Greene. So let us begin by looking closely, very closely, at the symbol. Now, the more observant of you may have already noticed that this is the first letter of the word death. Appropriately so. And the sudden end to the word suggests that we'll be cut off from understanding all of it. Nay, we'll only begin to grasp the very beginnings of this concept before death kills us. As my TOK teacher used to say, stop killing time before it kills you. However, there is also hope to be found in this piece. The title. Not many consider the title to be maybe as important to the work's message as the content. But here it's physically more than the content. I'm getting tears just thinking about this. The music too. Oh, it's too much. It's too much. You may notice that we have a period here, a full stop. It's punctuation. Remember that for your exam. However, we have the full word death spelled out right here. Of course, we'll notice it. We can read the word death, however, we cannot fully understand it. And when we start to, we fall. But what does death mean? What does it actually mean to you? Is it just a sad passing away? Or is it a chance to improve? Is it a chance to change? Is it a chance to reincarnate, as I said before? To me, this death is actually the death of our human consciousness. It is the death of this primitive, earthly world. It is the gateway to the next stage in evolution. John Ernest Greene always does this with his works, this meta kind of thing, that the piece entitled Death is also the cause of the death it's talking about. let's look more closely at this symbol here. We have a nice curved arch and a stick. Now, John Ernest Greene did not choose this symbol by chance. I think you're this far in your English IGCSE course, you would immediately realize that. This was a conscious decision to shape the letter this way. As you know, we have these notes on the typeface and all of that. All of this was carefully chosen and picked out. This is, well, what is it? We can analyze that for hours, we can ponder for hours what this could possibly mean. Is this half of a full moon? Is this perhaps a breast? Giving milk to us? Giving the milk of super consciousness to us through this work? Is it perhaps the round earth being cut in half? Or the round universe, even? Sliced apart, violently yet elegantly, to inform us that this is not all there is. Strangely enough, this fits in with my religion, which is actually like this is not a joke. This actually does fit with my religion. I'll be writing a book sometime soon about it. Anyway, have a watch me, the inferior artist. We can, of course, look at all of the different letters here, look at their shapes, but what could they possibly mean to us when we haven't understood the true meaning of the work, which we can only understand if we let our consciousness drift away from this piece of paper with the ink, the lifeless ink blotted onto it, and let us fully connect with the author, as if we knew them their entire life. This death could also signify the death of any hope to understand death. Of course, John Ernest Greene would always happily include such puns and jokes in his works. But I think the main lesson to be learned here is that while we could come up with different theories for hours, it would all be meaningless. Because the death hasn't come yet. Sure, it is here on the paper, but it will only come once we have enveloped this work. Once we have felt paper on our skin. Once we have felt the carbon fiber in our throats. Once we have tasted the delicious ceramic cup that holds our universe. Once we have smelled the imperceptible yet vomit-inducing smell of a low-quality voice recorder. Once we have ingested and fully digested cellophane. Once we have seen the spark. Once we have kindled the spark. This work is a prophecy. It's a prophecy of a death that is to come. That is to come if we enjoy the prophecy. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's almost like a time loop. It's unbelievable how many things John Ernest Greene managed to fit into a single character. I am still in disbelief, and while I am recovering, please enjoy my other videos. Thank you for this evening. leave any other interpretations of this work in the comments below. I would gladly read them. Good night.